Dil Dil, Pakistan. A few years ago on Independence Day, I was just sitting in my room with my sisters and we were having this discussion, just like how most of us ladies actually do. What are we going to wear? It's 14th August. We have to wear something green and white to show our patriotism. With us in the room, we had the lady who helps at our home. So I asked her, "What are you doing for Independence Day? Aren't you celebrating? Aren't you excited? It's 14th of August. It's Independence Day." And she said to me, smiled and quietly said, "Miss, it's not our 14th August. It's yours." That one sentence sank so deep in my heart. I realized that day that freedom does not only come from independence, it comes from inclusion. That one missing piece in her life. Now, this woman is not educated at all. She has never been to a school. She does not know how to read and write. Yet she is playing her part in the society. She is giving all her best. But she is not celebrating that freedom that I am celebrating. That was an eye-opening moment for me. At that point, the realization that education is far beyond just learning. It's what that learning actually makes us feel. It makes us feel like we belong. That's the true essence of how education matters in our life. So that one incident changed how I actually thought. Even though right now I am an educator, at that point in life, I rearranged my thoughts, thinking, what exactly am I doing? What is going on? Someone who breathes the same air as me, someone who lives very close to me, she does not feel the freedom. She does not feel like we are living in an independent nation. She does not think she belongs. She deserves that happiness, that celebration. Sometimes, but most of the time I would say, we often hear the saying that goes like, education is the key to success. And that's a very famously and very repeatedly used couple of words. Maybe it's more than just that. Maybe it's education is the key to belonging, if we look at it from another perspective. I'd give you an instance. So in developed countries, most of the time, if you get a higher education, if you get a college degree even, you will be guaranteed with a good job, a stable job, I would say, and a comfortable life. That is something that I would recommend is as a personal success, right? So a personal success story. In a nation like ours, in a society like ours, where we are identifying our own self, we are shaping our identity at the moment, every one of us contributing in it one way or the other. It's a national transformation for us. So one person's education, one person's success will become a national level change for us. So it's not just me, my victory, my success story. It's a whole nation's building story. With this, I'd like to share a thought that actually stays with me quite often. Because I'm someone from a biological background, I had my studies in a biology subject. So I often refer to our society, our community, as a living body. A lot of you might know that our bodies are made out of individual cells. And every individual cell has some kind of role to play. So every cell has a purpose. Every cell is important. Think of us, think of every individual as someone that is a cell. If one cell fails, if one cell weakens, the whole body will be affected. Similarly, if all of these cells, they perform their function just like how they are supposed to, and they stay together, they are cohesive, what will happen? We'll have a healthy person, healthy living body that can perform its optimal function at all times. Education is just something like this. So one person's education will gain the community someone learned, something to learn from. In one way or another, he or she will contribute to the society's development. Right? So, but let's be honest, I don't think just learning and getting a formal education is enough. Do you guys think that? No. I think it's far beyond that. So real education is when you get the knowledge, it's in your head, then it comes in your heart. So unless you have the intention, unless you have the heart to do it, you will not be able to do it. So it travels from your head to your heart and then into your hands. In my role as an environmental educator, I've seen many people, I've seen children, I've seen youth, I've seen volunteers come up and perform this. So I've seen this transformation up close. You can say that in simpler words. I've seen these people just use their education, use their knowledge, and go and make that difference in society. So they come to me, they tell me, I have identified this problem in this society. This is the geographical area we're talking about. This is the problem. Let's do something for this. And then when they come up with a solution to it, because they do have the knowledge, they are using that knowledge for those solutions. They come up with innovative ideas. I've even seen children that are high school children, just like how we have some of our speakers here today. They come up with UV-powered water filters for disaster-struck areas. I've seen these very children from this institution conduct surveys and awareness campaigns on hygiene. I've seen these people go out and contribute to community. So they are using their knowledge, they're putting it into practice, they are using it in their hands. And that reminds us, these people did not need any kind of permissions. They did not need any kind of funding. They were not waiting for this moment. They just knew they had this in them. They had this knowledge, they need to utilize it. Just like that, these minds are also learning. So this is a very beautiful journey in which you transform your own knowledge into practical example and you use action to justify that. They are learning a very important message that their education, the one they got, the one they had from a teacher or a mentor or even from the internet as we were talking about previously, they are the ones enlightening themselves and they are like a light bulb, just like we have a lot over here. They are that light bulb that everyone in the room are getting the light from. So it's a shared victory. It's not a personal victory. My knowledge is not just mine. It's everyone's shared victory. With this, I would also like to put some light on what challenges we face in this education sector. Obviously, we romanticize and say, oh yes, we have books, we have this, we have this. We have a lot of advancement in education. But there are still students, there are still children who go miles on their feet to school. Sometimes they don't even want to go because obviously it's physically taxing. There are places where education for girls is still considered something that is a debate. It's a very big dilemma for us. This is the 21st century. And to think that some areas in our very own homeland still think that education for girls is not necessary at all. There are schools that lack desks, chairs, sometimes even a roof. So they are still here. They are among us. This is where we divide education by wealth, by language, by privilege. This is where inclusion, the whole concept of it, gets left behind. So we are not giving equal opportunity. Unless there is equitable opportunity, belonging will be incomplete. So that's the whole concept of an education, including everyone. This reminds me, I was recently reading a survey by one of our very own national level philosophers. I think his name was Shayan Qureshi, if I'm not wrong. He had this study on the socioeconomic factors in Pakistan. He conducted in 2024. So according to his study, the education of a person does not only determine how much income they're going to generate, it also determines their self-worth and their participation in civic life. So participation in civic life means they will be engaging with other people, and when they will be engaging with other people, they will be giving themselves this feeling that we are also seen. So inclusion, belonging, that's the whole concept. This reminds me again of a girl I met on training in Khanewal. So I was on this training, I was there as a trainer, and this training was about empowerment of rural women on how they can use their own practices that they are using, how they can improvise them, how they can produce better income from their income generation streams that they have. During this training, I had to stay at that village. This was close to Khanewal, so we're just going to refer to it as a village close to Khanewal. What happened was I was there for a few days, all right? So 2 to 3 days intensive training with the local women, but obviously changing a behavior and then monitoring that behavior requires time. So I was going to go back after 3 days, but then there was this person, her name was Fatima. Fatima is one of the women out of those cohort of women. So what Fatima's role was in my training was she was a field mobilizer. But this role was voluntarily. So she was not getting paid. She was not a worker. This was not her job. Fatima had basic education. She knew how to read and write. She had been to school. When asked why she's so motivated to work, why she is doing all this despite not getting paid, she told me, for the first time in my life, people listen to me. People learn from me. And that makes me proud. That makes me want to do this. That makes me think that I have some kind of power. So yes, education is important. And that feeling that you have the power to bring the change, you are included, you are in this together, that is even more important than just reading books and getting a degree. We talked about the challenges. Let's just also talk about the challenges of teachers. So every teacher is not given an equal playground. Every teacher is not given the equal facilities. And then we blame sometimes the teachers or the systems or the government. We are often doing that in the education sector. What we need to understand is each and every one of us is a teacher. Whenever I face a crowd, whenever I face some kind of a gathering, mostly a youth gathering because I'm mostly engaged with youth, I ask them a question. How many people did you teach something today? Did you pitch an idea in a group today? Some hands are raised sometimes. A lot of the times, no hands are raised. And then I say, so if we teach someone one lesson, one good thing, one skill, every day, let's suppose all of us in this hall teach someone one of these things every day. Can you imagine how easily and how quickly our nation, our country can light up? How quickly we can transform from the sticker of a developing country to a developed one. So being selfish, keeping that knowledge to yourself is not going to take you anywhere. Yes, you might get successful. Yes, you might have a very successful story to tell at the end. But what about the people around you? What about those who felt inferior to you just because they did not have equal opportunity? I will conclude with the same story. So development and transformation, this comes, now we have concluded, not just from getting an education, but from learning from the heart. All right. And yes, buildings and infrastructures matters a lot, but every thought, every process starts from the mind. And you have the power to think. You have seed in your mind now to think. Have you been selfish? Have you not been selfish? So these are two different kinds of scenarios. So when the next time Independence Day comes around, I will remember that lady's voice in my head. This is not our 14th August. It's yours. And I would work. I would continue to spread education, awareness, whatever I have inside me, till the day every person in this nation can proudly say, this is my 14th August. This is our 14th August. This is my Pakistan. This is our Pakistan. Because development, it starts from learning. And when we learn together, we grow together. And when we grow together, we belong. We finally belong. Thank you very much.